All right. Welcome. It's Friday afternoon, and we're doing more morning movement and mobility. It's just working out this week. You got to go when you can, and no reason to change the name. So we're just calling it morning movement and mobility again. I'm Henry Byer with Strong for Life, and Friday afternoon seems like a good time to do a little stretching before you kick off the weekend. You had a long week. Just a little bit of stretching to rejuvenate yourself before heading into the weekend seems like a good thing to do. And I'm looking forward to it. I've been missing these sessions a lot because over the last 10 days now, because of just not feeling that great. So, the light, I apologize for the light here, especially for you Instagram people. It's a little bit worse for you. And it's just the way the sun comes in. I don't have a way to block this window right now. I got to head down to pick up my son in a little bit. So we got to get rolling. So let's just begin with today, just a little bit of opening and closing the hands, working on joint mobility for your fingers, right? So open your hands as wide as you can and then make a fist, just open them up. This is a thing you can do all the time. You could do it while you're driving. One hand is on the wheel, one hand is doing this, just working these joints. Just do it until they you get like that burning kind of fatigue, and then you can bail on that. And then put your hands together, and with your palms touching, keeping your palms together, just begin rolling your wrists around in one direction, and then roll them around in the other direction. Good. And then pull your palms apart, but keep your fingers interlaced. And then roll your wrists again around in one direction, like so. And then roll them around in the other direction. Things like our wrists, they get a fair amount of wrists and elbows and knees get a fair amount of movement throughout the week, but I bet you don't do this a lot when you're more like holding stuff and you're not actively just warming up those joints in your fingers. You can do the same thing with your toes, as you can scrunch your toes. Don't do that as much. Anyways, okay, so now the putting on, we're going to do just a few little elbow ones here for you who have stiff elbows. This is a good one. It's putting on your sunglasses, just like that. Good. And now shoulder rolls, rolling the shoulders backwards. These are all mobility exercises. Rolling your shoulders together backwards, kind of raising them up and dropping them down to the back, and then changing direction and going forward. This is a great one in the morning. I feel like this one really helps me out in the morning. And if you've been sitting for a while and everything's gotten all scrunched up like this, just make it so that you're extending everything. Okay, for your shoulders now, alternating, going backwards. You can actually, I'm going to just demonstrate this because it's kind of a free-form Friday here. You can actually do that movement just with your shoulders like that. And it's a great way to stimulate and loosen up some gunky shoulders by crawling just using your shoulders. You don't go very far, but you can definitely feel that. And so we are going backwards, alternating like this, and now forward. Good. Shake that out. Do a few across the chest, arm swings like this, not too heavy. Don't get too excited here, just nice and easy. Yeah. Awesome. Liking it. Forgot to say thanks to your replay viewers for catching this later on. So the YouTube and Facebook replay viewers over here, and you Instagram viewers over here, thanks for catching this later on. Good. So now we're going to do, oh, actually, before we do arm swings, we're going to do, so just palm up here, and then tuck your hand like this underneath, right underneath your armpit, and then bring it out with the palm up again like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And now we're going to do the Egyptian. So the Egyptian is, this is called internal rotation, where you're rolling your shoulder forward, palm up. And then the other hand, this is external rotation. You're rolling your shoulder outward and palm is up. And then the Egyptian, you just go back and forth like this. We'll just do, I don't know, 6 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Shake that out. And now some arm swings. 5 of them. Do 5 in a row, and then do this double knee bend. 1, 2, like that. My brain cannot do all those things at the same time. So 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Okay, good. Now we're going to just do some arm, very loose, arms like noodles here, just spinning. Boom. Do about 25 of these. Keep looking straight ahead while you do these. The front arm sort of comes up to the shoulder, collarbone area, and the back arm goes and sort of hits you in the kidney. Gently lift up your heel as you spin to the left. Lift up your right heel as you spin to the right. Lift up your left heel. Protects your knees. All right, that's good. Shake that out. We're going to do a couple of breathing movements here, and basically like touching your toes or just bending over and going down as far as you can. Breathe in through your nose and then come up. Exhale through, exhale through your mouth and then repeat. We'll do 5, 3, breathe in through your nose. 4, actually, let's do a couple more. 5, 6, 7. Oh. And then we'll get into our sun salutations. We're just going to do 6 of these. If you haven't done these before, just watch the first one, and then step in and follow along. So we start with feet together, hands in this prayer pose, then hands back, breathe in, bend over, breathe out, step back with your right foot, chest up, breathe in, step back into downward dog, breathe, excuse me, breathe out, then come through to your belly, lift your chest in cobra pose, breathe in, push back into downward dog, breathe out, step forward with your left foot, chest up, breathe in, step forward with your right foot, breathe out, and that's 1 rep. So we'll do 5 more, and every time you're opening up your chest, excuse me, I just have that tickle from my cold, you're breathing in through your nose, and every time you're bending over, folding at the waist, you're breathing out. So breathe in, breathe out, step back with your left foot this time, chest up, breathe in, back into downward dog, breathe out, come forward onto your stomach, point your toes, lift your chest, breathe in, breathe out as you go to downward dog, right foot forward, chest up, breathe in, step forward, breathe out, stand up, readjust, again, step back, right foot, chest up, breathe in, back into downward dog, breathe out, come forward onto your stomach, breathe in, then into downward dog, breathe out, step forward, left foot, chest up, breathe in, right foot forward, breathe out, stand up, readjust. 3 more. We alternate sides, breathe out. So now we step back with our left foot. Step back, right foot into downward dog. Come forward on your stomach. Breathe in. Push back into downward dog. Breathe out. Step forward. Right foot. Breathe out. I wonder if I got next up there, but 2 more. Breathe out. Step back, right foot. Chest up. Back left foot. Downward dog, breathe out. Down onto your stomach, point your toes. Lift your chest. Breathe in. Push back into downward dog. Breathe out. Left foot forward. Chest up. Breathe in. Step forward. Breathe out. Stand up. Readjust. Last rep. Breathe out. Breathe in, bend over, breathe out, step back, left foot, chest up, breathe in, step back into downward dog, breathe out, push away, down to your stomach, point your toes, lift your chest, breathe in, downward dog, breathe out, step forward with your right foot, chest up. Breathe in, step forward with your left foot, breathe out. And there were 6 reps of sun salutation, taking my sweatshirt off. You can see my shaggy hair. See my shaggy hair. So that's 3 on each side. All right, so now we're going to do Hindu push-ups. So Hindu push-ups, start in downward dog. And you look between your feet and then you scoop in to upward dog, and you are balancing on your hands and your toes. Nothing else is touching. And then back into downward dog. So there it is again. Boom. To make it easier, you can come forward into a push-up, down, and then into upward dog. And then into downward dog, into the push-up, down, upward dog. An even easier version is to drop to your knees, come down, and then upward dog like that. Push back into downward dog, go to your knees, down like so. Okay? We're going to do 6. Just choose whichever method is easiest for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finish by walking your feet straight-legged towards your hands. There. Bend your knees and stand up. All right. Very good. Next, I got a low battery here. Hopefully it'll last. I don't know. We got 13 minutes to go. Okay. So next one is Hindu squats. Hindu squats, feet hip widths apart, toes pointed out. It's kind of a 3-count exercise. So your hands go back, 1, then down into this squat position. You're up on your toes, flexed at your ankles, knees. At your hips, you want to keep your torso upright in this position. And then 3, come up like that into a standing position. 1, 2, 3. Like so. 1, 2, 3. Like that. If you need assistance, you can use a chair, back of a chair, a broom handle. I have this PVC pipe. Boom. Just down into the position, and then you just pull up on whatever it is you're holding onto. About chest height is pretty good. So like the back of a chair is pretty good for this. We're going to do 12 of these. We always do double the amount of Hindu squats as we do for the rest of the exercises. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excellent. Shake that out. And then the last group, one of these exercises is thoracic bridge. I'll demonstrate first, and then I'll show you an alternative version. So you're sitting on your bum. Your knees are bent about 90 degrees, feet flat on the ground. Upper body is being supported by your hands behind you on your palms with your fingers pointing away from you. So my fingers are pointing towards the wall behind me. Then you lift up, squeezing your glute muscles into this position. Let your head just hang back and then down like that. Now this position can be uncomfortable for some folks. And if you're in that category, it's totally fine. All you do is you put your legs out in front of you and then just sit here like this in this position and feel that stretch and just get used to that stretch in your arms. For the rest, or for anyone who is comfortable with that stretch in the arms, let's begin. We'll do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As much as you get a stretch in your arms and your shoulders, the other important aspect of this exercise is really squeezing your glute muscles, your butt muscles, and pushing your hips through. So you get that hip extension. That's one of the things we're working on here, working on firing those glute muscles in this exercise. So I'm going to bring in a chair for some exercises here in case some of the ground exercises are too challenging. So this is a hip flexor stretch that you can use with a chair or a stool. A chair is kind of nice because you can put your hand on it for balance if need be. And you just stand on it like so, kind of standing straight on this leg, this rear leg. You'll just have to find sort of the spacing between your legs that works nicely. And then you just move forward here, and you should start to keeping your chest up, your hips square, squeezing. I'm on my right leg is behind now, so I'm squeezing the glute muscle of this right leg so that it's helping stabilize my pelvis and getting the stretch in this muscle here, this hip flexor here. So we'll just hold this for 30 seconds. Doing 2-3 sets of this for 30 seconds is perfect. And switch legs. And then same thing on the other side. Remember to squeeze this. I'm on my left leg is a straight leg in the back. And just squeeze that glute muscle of that leg. Keeping the chest up, shoulders square, hips square, and just feeling the stretch in this left hip flexor. All right, good. Now, as I said, you could do these for 2 to 3 sets of each on that. We're going to work through a few other exercises. So we're just going to do one for right now. This is a hamstring stretch that you can do. And you just here, you are have your heel on the chair. You want to pull your toes towards you. And you don't really want to bend through the back. You want to be bending at the hips here. So you're kind of just keeping your upper body straight and leaning forward. Just leaning forward with the chest. And you should feel a stretch along the back side of your leg. Again, 30 seconds here is good. We'll stretch these hamstrings. From all this sitting, hamstrings shorten, the hip flexors shorten, and your glute muscles fall asleep. So these activities that we're doing are to help keep the flexibility and mobility in your hip by stretching your hamstrings and your hip flexors, and by doing exercises that fire up your glute muscles. So we switch legs. And now, same thing. Just leaning over this and feeling a stretch along this back leg. As you become more flexible, you can raise the height of this leg so that you get more of a stretch until you have it at the same height or higher than waist height. Okay. Excellent. So those are two good stretches for that. Now, here's another excellent stretch. This is, you're going to stand. You're going to be not quite where you're just standing straight up and touching the table. I think it works better when you stand back just a little bit. And then you just push your butt back, and you can stretch, you can bend your knees, and you'll just have to find a good position for this. But just pushing your hips back, you can bend your knees, and you should feel a stretch again in the back of your leg here, like this. And you might feel a little bit of a stretch in your back and in your shoulders. And just pushing those hips back. Stand up, push your hips back. Stand up, push your hips back. You're learning the hip hinge here by just pushing your hips back, supporting your upper body with the chair. Your weight's on the heels of your feet, and you can bend your knees and feel a stretch back here. Nice. After you do that, do like 5 of those and just hold it for a little bit. Want to do this more for learning this hip hinge motion. Like that, right? This is the most powerful human movement right here. And by doing this with a little assistance, you're just learning how to do this movement. Chest up, keeping your neutral spine. Like that. Now we're going to do it with one leg. So the key with this is the height of the leg doesn't matter as much as you just want to be pushing your heel away from you like this, right? Pushing the heel away. It's okay. You get some bending in this knee from pushing forward. That's totally cool. But you're just pushing this leg back. You want to try and keep this straight looking posture from your leg to your head, right? You can just use the chair for a little bit of balance like that. You can do 5 of those. We'll do 5 on the other side. Really pushing back with the heel. One thing that happens here, I'll do it on this side so you can see, is people will twist like this. You don't want to twist like this. You want your hips flat. So the good way to do this is, you can see this is my right foot. I point my toes to the left, and that helps keep as I push my heel away, I point my toes to the left, and that helps keep my hips flat. So let's switch legs. You're learning how to hip hinge here. Whoops. This is the deadlift. This is the kettlebell swing. This is the kettlebell clean. It's the standing long jump. It's the vertical jump. This is the hip hinge, the most powerful human movement. You can use the chair to learn to do this, and then you can progress to doing it with weights later on. Okay, the last chair exercise I want to show you here, we got about a minute because I got to go pick up my son here shortly, is I'm going to sit on the side of the chair like this. And you're going to take your hands and grab the top corners of the chair up here. Now you're just going to rotate. You're trying to rotate yourself. What you want to do is you want to keep your hips solid, stationary, and just twist the upper body and hold. This is a holding one. Hold for 30 seconds or so. Shoulders down. Just go until you feel a little bit of a tension, and then just breathe. Breathe normally. And then come forward. And then switch sides. and go to the other side. If you turn your head, keep turning your head, looking over your shoulder. Keep your shoulders down. Don't let them come up and become earrings. Keep your shoulders down. And just twist around as far as you can. Breathe into that. Very good. And then straighten up. Again, do that 2 to 3 times, 30 seconds. It's good. We're just going to finish with just a couple of leg swings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only swing as high as you can. 7, 8, 9, 10. Just nice, easy swings. Not trying to overdo it. Just letting the body, letting whatever flexibility, mobility you have show up. And as you do this more, you'll get more out of it. Again, my apologies for the way the sun has been on Instagram. Thanks for your patience on there. YouTubers and Facebookers, I think it was better for you. So there we were. Morning movement and mobility in the afternoon. Again, my name is Henry Byer with Strong for Life. Thanks for being here. Thank you, replay viewers, for catching this later on. And normally I would say I would be here at 6:30 tomorrow for an hour of this. That may happen. It may not. We just have to see how it goes. Right now, everything's a little touch and go with this sinus infection cold thing that I've been having. But if you're interested and you can make it tomorrow morning, just check me out. I'll be here. Hopefully I'll be here at 6:30 or 8:30 Mountain, 8:30 Eastern time. Otherwise, I hope you have a great weekend. And next week is spring break, so there won't be any of this happening as far as I know. But we'll be back the week after that. So thanks again for being here, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.